The Real Weather Watch is brought to you by DeKalb, unstoppable yield momentum. We're joined right now on agriculture.com by Dori Rossiter. Dori is the weather anchor with Bell Media and CTV based in Lethbridge. Welcome today, Dori.
Hello, thanks. Nice to be here.
Dori, harvest is almost complete in Western Canada outside of central and northern Alberta. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing a lot about the deep freeze that's about to happen this winter. When does this deep freeze begin?
Yeah, it could start as early as November 1st, and the reason being it has a strong tie-in to the Arctic systems we're already seeing lining up. The jet stream is going to take a very swift, hard drive to the south, and that's thanks to La Nina, which is, this mystical La Nina and El Nino that we talk about periodically in forecasting. But La Nina, this being a La Nina year, it's a pocket of cooler than normal water that's already pushing northwards into the Gulf of Alaska, and that creates a bend in the jet stream. So if you think of it as like a child slide, that's pretty much the shape of this jet stream as it starts far to the north in Alaska and then slides down the Continental Divide right into southern Alberta. So that bend in the jet stream is going to allow a lot of Arctic air to start sliding down into the prairies. This colder air will eventually mix with warmer, wet precipitation that's going to be migrating east from the BC coast, and some of the storm systems expected to develop along the southern end of the Rockies is going to push north, and that will create snow across the prairies. Temperature-wise, the dip, we're already seeing these systems line up and starting to take shape, and so our temperatures, especially our overnight temperatures, are already taking a hit here across much of the prairies. Some variance during the days is to be expected over the next several weeks. This pocket of cooler air and water in the coastal areas is actually smaller than the average size of a La Nina system. So the event is going to have sort of ebbs and flows of warmer temperatures and then colder temperatures as the jet stream kind of oscillates in the northern sectors. So most of BC is going to see below average amounts of snow starting November 1st. The exception being east and west Kootenay regions where amounts are going to be average. And you mentioned the extreme northern areas of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. They're going to have more average amounts of snow starting the beginning of next month. And then the central and southern regions will see above average amounts. And so when we look for snowfall amounts to really start to lock into southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, we see the heaviest amounts are going to be probably starting in late December for much of the prairies, but in advance of that, we're expecting that cooler air mass to really start to lock in after the first of the month.
So this could potentially be that traditional Western Canadian winter that we always hear about from our grandparents or our parents.
Absolutely, where we get Chinooks. If you look historically over the last 4 winters, we have had they've all been preceded by a very wet spring, very wet cold summer, and then a monstrous winter event. That's been the pattern. This is the first year in 4 that we've actually had spring, which started late, granted, but from about June 15th on, we started to see the weather trends shift to a more moderate climate here in southern Alberta, and we haven't seen that in a long time. So if that stays on trend, and we're tying that into the La Nina and El Nino occurrences on the west coast as we try to monitor those every year as well. This being a La Nina year and a smaller La Nina, it looks like we could be lining up for that oscillating jet stream where it'll be high to the north, allowing that Arctic air to move in, but because of the weaker La Nina, it'll also settle into more zonal pattern, allowing for more of that Chinook westerly flow to move in. So it doesn't look like we're going to lock into a pattern where we get snow starting in November and not leaving until April, which we've had over the past previous 4 winters. It looks like we'll get a little bit of a break in between these winter episodes that we see in terms of snowfall.
So certain places like Lethbridge could return to their roots of being referred to as the banana belt in the middle of January.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, all the prairies are going to be 3 or 4 degrees cooler overall, with the coldest periods being early December, mid-January, and mid-February. But for that small percentage of area in southern Alberta that reaps the benefits of the Chinook winds periodically, it looks like we will be having that happen again this winter in that particular area. And that'll be the first time in a long time that we've had regular Chinooks. Last year we had what we referred to as half a Chinook. And throughout the year we usually get 11. So we had a very cold and long winter in that part of the country last year, but it looks like we could be getting a bit of a break this year.
So in your analysis, when you look at the three prairie provinces, you basically draw a line horizontally, and the northern parts of the provinces can expect the same, the southern provinces can kind of expect the same sort of patterns?
Temperature-wise, they will be locked into the pattern for a longer period of time because they don't pick up those Chinook winds that southern Alberta is known for. So I would say the northern sectors of Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan will see below average amounts of snow, but cold temperatures. And then in the southern sectors of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, they will be seeing average to above average amounts of snow, but some breaks in those cold temperature patterns.